The Young and the Restless spoilers, Tuesday, full August 6, 2024. Claire was exhausted. The constant struggle for Harrison had taken a toll on her spirit and patience. Sitting across from Kyle in their dimly lit living room, she mustered the courage to voice her inner turmoil. "Kyle, do you think we should just give up? Maybe it's time to let Summer have what she wants. She'll take good care of Harrison, not just us." Kyle's reaction was immediate and intense. He felt a surge of anger and betrayal. "How can you even suggest that, Claire? Harrison is my son. I have to be there for him." But Claire had reached her breaking point. The relentless complications of life with Kyle, coupled with the ceaseless battle for Harrison, had drained her completely. "I'm not his mother, Kyle. It's tearing me apart." Claire's friends, Cole and Victoria, had long been advising her to seek a simpler, more peaceful life. They saw the strain that Kyle's complex life had put on her and urged her to prioritize her well-being. "You deserve a calm and serene life, Claire," they would say. "You don't have to bear the brunt of Kyle's battles." Finally, Claire made a decision. She would go back home for a while, to clear her mind and heal her heart. She needed a break from the exhausting dynamics with Kyle and the incessant fight for Harrison. With a heavy heart, she told Kyle she would be leaving. "I'm not giving up on you or Harrison," she assured him. "But I need some time to find myself again. This fight, it's not my fight." Meanwhile, in another corner of Genoa City, Billy was facing his own turmoil. He had always known that Lily had a duplicitous nature, but her recent actions had confirmed his worst fears. It seemed she was aiding Victor in achieving his dubious goals. Her betrayal cut deep, and Billy's trust was shattered. Their confrontations grew more intense with each passing day. Billy could feel the walls closing in on him, with Lily's deceit threatening to destroy everything he had worked for. The idea of cutting ties with her permanently started to form in his mind. But this time, he wasn't just thinking about ending their relationship. His thoughts turned darker, considering the ultimate solution to eliminate her betrayal once and for all. Billy's mind was a chaotic storm, battling between his desire for revenge and the remnants of the love he once felt for Lily. He knew that getting rid of her might be the only way to secure his future and erase the evidence of her treachery. But the very thought of it left him with a gnawing guilt and a fear of crossing a line he could never return from. As Claire packed her bags, tears streaming down her face, she knew she was making the right decision for herself. She needed to reclaim her peace, even if it meant stepping away from the chaotic whirlwind that was her life with Kyle. She left the house quietly, hoping that her absence would give Kyle the clarity he needed to resolve his own struggles. In the quiet solitude of her childhood home, Claire found solace and time to reflect. She realized that she could love Kyle and Harrison without sacrificing her own well-being. Her time away would be a period of healing and rediscovery, allowing her to decide her future with a clear and unburdened mind. Back in the city, Kyle struggled with the sudden void left by Claire's departure. He missed her presence and her unwavering support. But he also understood her need for space and hoped that their time apart would strengthen their relationship in the long run. He remained determined to fight for Harrison, knowing that he couldn't let Summer win without a battle. Billy, on the other hand, was descending further into his dark thoughts. His interactions with Lily became more hostile, and the tension between them reached a boiling point. The idea of eliminating her once and for all consumed his mind, but he struggled with the moral implications of such an act. As the days passed, the residents of Genoa City continued to navigate their complicated lives, each facing their own demons and making choices that would shape their futures. Claire found peace in her temporary retreat, while Kyle braced himself for the ongoing battle for his son. Billy's inner conflict raged on, leaving him teetering on the edge of a dangerous decision. In this city of intertwined lives and relentless drama, the choices made by Claire, Kyle, and Billy would have far-reaching consequences, altering their paths and testing the strength of their character. And as the dust settled, they would each have to confront the repercussions of their actions and the inevitable truth that sometimes, the hardest battles are fought within. Connor's return to Genoa, the struggles of family and truth. Connor had only just returned to Genoa City, but the whispers and rumors that reached his ears were enough to unsettle his young heart. The murmurings about his parents' complicated relationship made their way to him, filling his mind with confusion and distress. He heard from someone, he couldn't even remember who, that his parents had been intimate but chose not to be together. This revelation left Connor baffled and weary, unable to understand the intricacies of adult relationships. Adam, sensing his son's turmoil, tried to explain the situation to Connor. He sat down with him, hoping to convey a sense of understanding and compassion. "Connor, your mom and I are trying to make things work. We want to create a happy home for you, even if we're not together in the way you might want." But Connor, tears streaming down his face, was inconsolable. "I don't want a fake life, Dad. I just want things to be real and honest." Adam felt a pang of guilt and helplessness. He and Chelsea had been trying so hard to keep up appearances for Connor's sake, but it was clear that their efforts were causing him more pain than comfort. They were both exhausted, their patience frayed to the breaking point. In their fatigue and frustration, they started to consider the possibility of sending Connor back to Paris, hoping the distance would shield him from the ongoing turmoil. Meanwhile, Sharon was grappling with her own fears. The presence of Cameron loomed large in her mind, casting a dark shadow over her thoughts. She wasn't the only one who could see him, but she was the only one haunted by his memory. The mere mention of his name sent shivers down her spine, and she felt an overwhelming sense of dread. As Adam and Chelsea debated their next move, Sharon's anxiety continued to grow. The fear that Cameron might return and wreak havoc on her life again was paralyzing. She tried to focus on the present, on supporting her friends and family, but the past kept creeping in, threatening to pull her under. The tension in Genoa City was palpable. Connor's distress, Adam and Chelsea's exhaustion, and Sharon's lingering fear all intertwined to create a web of uncertainty and unease. The city's residents were caught in a storm of emotions, each trying to find their own way through the chaos. For Connor, the idea of returning to Paris was both a relief and a heartbreak. He loved his parents, but the constant tension and dishonesty were too much for him to bear. He longed for a sense of stability and truth, something that seemed increasingly out of reach. Adam and Chelsea, worn down by their efforts to maintain a semblance of normalcy, felt a mix of guilt and resignation. They knew they had to do what was best for Connor, even if it meant sending him away. But the decision weighed heavily on them, a reminder of their own shortcomings and the complexities of their relationship. As for Sharon, the fear of Cameron's return was a constant companion. She struggled to shake the feeling that he was watching, waiting to strike. Her past with him was a scar that had never fully healed, and the possibility of confronting him again filled her with dread. In the end, the choices each of them made would shape their futures. Connor's return to Paris might offer him the peace and honesty he craved, but it would also mean leaving behind the family he loved. Adam and Chelsea's decision to send him away was a painful acknowledgement of their limitations, a recognition that sometimes love alone isn't enough to hold a family together. And Sharon's battle with her fears was far from over. She would have to find the strength to confront her past and protect herself from the shadows that threatened to consume her. In the midst of their struggles, the residents of Genoa City continued to navigate their lives, each step forward a testament to their resilience and determination. As the days passed, Connor prepared for his return to Paris. Adam and Chelsea did their best to make the transition as smooth as possible, but the sadness in their eyes was unmistakable. They knew they were doing what was best for their son, but the pain of letting him go was a heavy burden to bear. Sharon, meanwhile, sought solace in her friends and family, finding strength in their support. She knew the road ahead would be difficult, but she was determined to face her fears head-on. With each passing day, she grew more resolute, ready to protect herself and those she loved from the ghosts of her past. In the end, the struggles of Genoa City's residents were a reminder of the complexities of life and love. They faced their challenges with courage and resilience, knowing that even in the darkest moments, there was always hope for a brighter future.